So shout out to you as well too. We got our usuals coming up in here, so as always, glad to hear from you guys. Have you guys up in the space? And yeah, man, it's been a busy week. Let me go ahead and start putting some of this stuff up in the jumbotron because I want to put those articles, the two articles for the night. I didn't actually get a chance to print them up, but nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and put them up in the actual jumbotron. Damn, I know I got one. I got one of the articles. Let me find that other article as well too. I'm gonna put that up in the jumbotron. Man, I don't know how I lost that. What I did with that article, but give me 1 second. I want to put it up in the jumbotron. Shout out to Black Majority State coming up in the space as well too. Shout out to my people over there in YouTube land. When you guys definitely come through, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the broadcast, share the broadcast, leave a comment as well too. Definitely share, subscribe, like, and leave a comment for those over there on YouTube. Sister Sean, what's going on with you? How you doing tonight? Black, I'm glad to see you up in here early. I know you always come in towards the middle, but I'm glad to see you up in here early as well too. I Ashley, what's up? What's up? What's up with you? How you doing? What's going on? Thias, what's up? What's up, Thias? Domini as well too. Shout out to Domini. So bunch of our people coming up in the space, guys. Y'all make sure y'all tweet that space out, and we'll go ahead and get ready to get started. Touch up on it. I know Sister Sean, I know you've been keeping track of this as well too. So yeah, man. I heard they're trying. They're saying that it was two other. It was two people that had to turn themselves in from that brawl as well too, and I don't think they've turned themselves in. Of course, the brother with the chair. Interesting to see exactly what's going to happen with him as well too. But let me go ahead. I want to touch up on the actual. What's up, Nightfall? Shout out to you, brother, over there in YouTube land. Go ahead and touch up on the actual convo for the night. And guys, once I go ahead and touch up on this real quick, y'all go ahead and feel free to jump in as well too. We got the Chicago Defender. I'm gonna find that article. I tweeted it out, y'all. I just didn't bookmark it, so I always try to bookmark the article so I can go ahead and just add them to the space, but I didn't put them up in there tonight, so I'll go back and find this one here. But this is from the Chicago Defender, curator of Newstoter.com platform. Y'all make sure y'all visit Newstoter.com, the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Montgomery police announced arrest warrants for 3 white men in boat brawl. Like I said, I know before I came on, I saw something else too. They're looking for 2 other suspects as well too. Arrest warrants have been issued for 3 white men involved in a massive brawl at Alabama riverfront dock that was caught on video. Montgomery police said on Tuesday, August 8th, Police Chief Darrell Albert announced that the 3 white suspects, 48-year-old Richard Roberts, Alan Todd, and 25-year-old Zachary Shipman, are facing charges of third-degree assault following the viral brawl per TMZ. Also, people trying to also get these guys hit up for like hate crime charges as well too, and I see that circulating as well too. So it's going to be interesting to see if the feds charge him with a hate crime. One of them is already in custody, Albert said, and the other 2 are expected to turn themselves in for booking and processing. According to the videos of the incident, the massive brawl unfolded on Saturday, August 5th, after a white assailant attacked a black security guard on the dock at a riverfront park in Montgomery. Videos show the security guard and assailant fighting before the two more white men join in the brawl. At one point in the video, the security guard can be seen on the ground and being struck by several men. Onlookers later jumped onto the security guard's defense, with one person even swimming up to the dock to fight back against the assailants. Of course, that was a 16-year-old young cat that did that. Multiple altercations ensued on the dock. Albert said Tuesday that 13 people were detained, brought in for questioning and released following the brawl. According to the police, an investigation into the incident remains ongoing. A man who appeared to be hitting people with a chair, identified as Reggie Gray, could still potentially face charges, Albert said. Montgomery police are consulting with the FBI on the possible hate crime charges, according to the chief. Now, to my understanding, the sister that pushed the white woman into the actual water, I believe she may have been fired from her job as well too. I'm not totally sure, but I believe that sister may have been fired from her job. The one that pushed the actual white lady up into the water, like I said, I believe also, Correct me if I'm wrong, but did they say the security guard that he said it before the fight ensued? They call him an N word or whatever. So I see what you're saying on that. Nightfall on YouTube. You're saying good luck with that. I guess in terms of me talking about a potential hate crime being filed against them. Uh, I know. It seems like that's just trying to throw something against the wall. But so potentially, yeah, I mean, these guys confront him. If they did call him the N word, then jumped on old boy, a potential hate crime could possibly be, on the way. I know the brother that had that chair that was welling on folks. They definitely want to come at him. Shout out to my girl FBA Goddess up in the spot as well too. Shout out to you FBA Goddess. So DJ, when you get a chance, find out too, man. See if you can find out online if because I know they were looking for they were expecting two other suspects to turn themselves in as well too. So we hadn't. I didn't get a chance because, like I said, I've been running back and forth, and I just was trying to get to the space in time. But I believe you had two other. They were looking for two other suspects as well too. So shout out to Miss Giselle up in the spot as well too. Shout out to you, Miss Giselle and Stephanie. Shout out to you guys coming up in here. Simply Rick, what's up? What's up, bro? Go ahead, FBA Goddess.
Hey, how everybody doing? I just was reading something a little while ago, and it said that they said that we're going to file a hate crime
You said they
charge.
weren't or they are?
They were not.
Oh, okay. Because I heard it was a possibility that they potentially could file a hate crime, but I would it be
I'm
so?
gonna find that news break, but because it came out on news break earlier today. I thought I posted it on my timeline. I'm gonna look and see, but they did say they were not. But I'm gonna check and see and make sure. If so, I'll post it.
Well, let's be honest. It wouldn't be totally surprising if they decided not to actually file charges on those people as well too. Don't be surprised they don't try to flip it on my boy with the chair and stuff and try to like pin everything up on this cat here too. So don't be surprised. But it could be charged as a hate crime. But rarely, I'm sure in the old Dixie place like Alabama, they really charge a lot of these rednecks down there with hate crimes as well too. So you could be right, FBA guys. It was just something I was hearing that's a when they say potentially, I don't put much stock into it till it's actually filed. So potentially, and it actually happening are two totally different things as well too. So we'll see exactly how that plays out. Funny enough, like I say, in the month of August, Black August, early in the month, this went ahead and this popped off as well too. So Black August definitely known as a month of revolution and these brothers and sisters they got at it. Like I said, I do believe the sister that pushed the one white lady in the water, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but wasn't she fired from her job as well too? I believe that sister was fired. I don't know if anybody knows that for sure or not, but I believe
Yes,
she was
she was
fired.
fired. Yes, she said she was fired that day.
Oh, so they ain't waste no time firing her right then and there, huh? Okay. Not surprising.
No, she said she was talking to somebody about it or whatever. I posted a video up there, and she was saying that they didn't care or whatever. They had to run the business or something like that.
Yeah. My man Nightfall says these suspected white supremacists own a store in Selma, Alabama named, what is that? Vases Mini Mart. Let's bankrupt hate. Is that Vases Mini Mart? Okay, so they actually own a little grocery store over there. So yeah, I surely hope no black people are going in there buying anything from these folks as well too. My man Nightfall says black supremacy says a black man didn't hit anyone with the chair. He was trying to stop the chair from hitting those white folks, allegedly. I see what you're doing right there. Go ahead, Sister Sean. How you doing tonight?
Peace, power, and reparation. FBA Goddess, I haven't talked to you in so long. Hope you're doing well. Love to hear your voice. I call it cheeronomics, and I take that off of the lead of Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics. So, yeah, that was our cheeronomics that we witnessed on Saturday, August 5th. But I'm going to be very quick to answer your two questions. FBA Goddess is very correct. They came out with a public announcement that said that there was no indications of hate crime, but TMZ has come out to the contrary. And I posted it under my Twitter page. Just hit my picture and you'll see it. Somebody is coming out and said that in some of those audios that we couldn't, the exchanges, obviously people were talking and they were saying something, right? But we couldn't hear. We just had video. But what she said was in this TMZ article that they were saying the nigger, the N word. And they also was claiming that they had a gun. Now, that's on TMZ.com, and I posted that article. But the police came out with their announcement today, and I watched that, and they said that they did not have any evidence of a hate crime. So maybe we need to do a little timeline. I don't know if TMZ story came out before the press conference, because the press conference was today. So you all can look that up. So that's kind of all I really have to say, and I'll just listen to everybody else for now. I have a lot else to say, but I don't think the time is now.
Okay, well, when you want to get it in, especially if it's a slow space and nobody's saying nothing, definitely don't hesitate to come on up here and speak as well too. So, Professor, what's going on? Professor's in actual Alabama, so he may have some inside info. Professor, what you hearing down there, man?
Hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, like Sister Sean just said, that is a hate crime. It is in fact a hate crime because, for one, let's just look at it for what it really is, everybody. This black security guard was asking these folks to move their boat. Okay? They jumped on the man because they just didn't respect him as having authority as a black man. Because they don't like the fact that black people will have some kind of supremacy or have some kind of authority over them. Okay? That's why they jumped on the man. Okay? It seems to me, because for one, you got the governor here, no good ass Ivy, and a lot of these other no good ass white folks here will do anything they can to make sure that this is not called a hate crime. They will do anything they can to try to see if they can hide this video. I don't know if y'all been hearing it, but they trying to find ways to hide the video or try to play it down. Because they know it involves racial animosity. They know it does. And it's a black eye for Alabama. They don't want this being out there, y'all. But guess what? It's too late. It's out there. Everybody has seen it. So I don't really understand why they're trying to play it down. Word on the street is that were the N-words being thrown around by the white folks out there because, as usual, they don't like it if we ask them to do something. Or we have some kind of authority over them. Okay? The man was trying to do his job, and they just didn't respect him as a black man in a position of authority, telling them what they had to do, and so that's why they jumped. Now, come on, y'all. As black Americans, you know that white folks have a problem when we have some kind of authority in any form. Okay? So you all know that this is a hate crime. So what we got to do, we just got to keep the heat on. That's all. We got to keep the heat on these folks, man, because they want to play it down. They don't want the video out there. This is a really nasty black eye for Alabama, man. Once again, Alabama is in the news, see? And it's not good news. Between Alabama and Mississippi, they both kind of stay in the news for negative shit, racist stuff. And the DOJ, by the way, y'all, the DOJ is having to stay down here between the two states. Look at all the lawsuits, y'all, that are being filed by the DOJ between these two states. So what does that tell you? So anyway, Sister Sean is right on the money. I'm going to land right there because I want to hear what the rest of y'all have to say about it. But I told her, yes, it is some racial animosity involved with this that happened. Word on the street down there in Montgomery is that they was using the N-word. They were throwing the N-word out there. but they want this to go away, Total. See, a lot of the white folks in the community don't really want this being put out there like this because they look bad, man. One, you got beat up. You know what I'm saying? You got beat down. But then, once again, it throws a black eye on Alabama again as being the state that carries a lot of racism. It carries the banner for racism. So I'm going to land right there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I heard, I thought I even heard that the actual brother, the security guard, was saying that he was called an N-word. Now, everybody in the space knows it was a hate crime. The fact, if a security guard simply telling you to move your boat, and for that you got to go ahead and you got to attack him or whatever, yeah, it's hate behind that. We don't dispute that. The only thing we saying, Professor, is like, will they actually make the actual call? Because everybody in the world knows it was a hate crime, period. I mean, and what you're talking about, Alabama, let's be for real. Alabama and Mississippi are the twins of racism in the South, followed by Louisiana and Georgia and Florida and the Carolinas as well, too. But, those are the crown jewels. Those two are the crown jewel and always have been the crown jewel of pure hatred in the South. The worst damn slave masters and the worst treatment of slaves probably took place in those two places right there. So when you think of old Dixie, you really think of those two states, and every other state, they're right there. Don't get me wrong. Louisiana ain't far away either. But when you think about old Dixie, first and foremost, it's Mississippi 1A, Alabama 1B. It ain't a whole. I mean, they both on the same level. It's a slight nudge to Mississippi, but Alabama is a twin. They right there with them. So,
hey, Total, I would actually have to flip it, bro. Now I'm gonna tell you why I say flip it. Because I agree with what you're saying, because Mississippi is an ugly state. But the only reason why I would flip it to Alabama as being 1A, because Alabama was the capital of the Confederacy. So we'll call Alabama 1A, and then Mississippi 1B.
At this point, it's just really splitting hairs, Professor. But you're right. You live in Bama, so you would know more than the rest of us. So definitely, either way, you lose. So let me go.
So I posted both of those videos in the Jumbotron for the one about the woman. She's speaking about her job, and also about the article from Newsbreak.
Okay, I got my girl Stephanie up here. Stephanie, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I just want to say thank you for having this speech. Shout out to everybody. Great information thus far. I got to give this man his flowers. The man was not a security guard. He was the co-captain of the ship, of the boat, the riverboat, the Harriet. So, he give him a lot of respect. I'm not saying that you didn't know Newstoter, please don't beat me up. But no, he was a co-captain. So they disrespected the captain of the boat. And they felt that their superiority was far exceeds his position, just like you said. You was 100% on the money about that. The fact that they did this, it just shows their blatant ignorance and racism in full time. And they just don't care. They don't have respect for us. They don't have respect for authority because they think authority is only supposed to go towards us. But we showed them otherwise. And I just thank God for all of those people. I also want to issue a warning for all of the people in the Alabama area. Please, I just saw this video last night. They are threatening retaliation. Okay, anywhere in this country, all of us stay safe, be alert, keep the head on the swivel. One of the ladies that worked at the hospital in Alabama, she said that they came into the hospital. They realized that the entire staff were Black people. They were afraid, and they were saying, it's niggers in here. One of them even called the police. I don't know if it's verified, but when the police showed up, the police said, hey, either you get treated here or you leave. And they made the choice instead that they decided to leave. Also, there is a tweet because the name of this store, grocery store, is called Vassar's Mini Mart. And they said that they didn't need nigger dollars or gorilla dollars, as they called it. So let's just honor their wish. Let's not put another penny into establishments like this. Let them go for broke. Because as far as I'm concerned, we've been showing a lot of people too much grace to be disrespected. And as far as the word woke being the N word, let's make white supremacy their N word. So when people utilize the word woke, okay, you're a white supremacist. They hate to be called a white supremacist. Yes, they are white supremacists, but they don't like to be called it up front. So whenever they call us woke, we can call them white supremacists, and I'll finish with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I'm actually going to touch up on that article in a second as well, too. I'm going to let Jeremiah go. And then Sister Sean, either I'm going to let you go. I may read that article real quick. Jeremiah, go ahead and unmute your mic.
How's everybody doing? Free the lane, family.
Hey, what's up now?
Yeah, I'm from Mississippi, so I'm going to disagree with what you said about us being the most racist. Alabama is slightly more white than Mississippi, so they see more overt racism because they have numbers. Mississippi is like 35, 37, probably about 45. Like 55, everything west, that's Negro land. Almost nothing but black. And then in places, y'all, a lot of places in America will call hella black, like Mississippi, 35% black. We consider that Klan land, like Pearl, Mississippi, everything east of Jackson. That's basically plus Klan land in our eyes, you know. Nice in Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky now, driving the truck, going through it. And I never did see those overt racism, establishment racism as full of cause in Mississippi, because Jackson, where I'm from, like we had two white kids at our school, out of elementary school before we moved to Kentucky. I never called him bigger for my life. I never did. That was a best education my dad could have did. He was in the movement. My aunt passed a little while ago. She helped organize the Selma march on the bridge over there. But more importantly, what I got to talk about, the other system right on point about being prepared. I talk about this all the time. Train in boxing, train in wrestling, train in kickboxing, lift some weights, train in MMA. They got gyms all over the place. And you got to be ready to go those places captain. I fought mixed martial arts, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, all of that. I had a young lady last year making to the championship. She came in second place in the National Golden Gloves. I had national champions in the North American Grappling Association. I won several North American Grappling Championships myself. And that's what you got to do, because if you don't walk, anywhere I walk around, I know that there's a 99% chance I can whoop everybody's ass in that room, my language, but I don't walk around with a chip in my shoulder. I'm not sure it doesn't do what I see, but you got to train firearms, especially how to unjam them and how to get to them quickly. If it's in the car, there's no need to walking around. That ain't gonna do a damn good. So, B1 family, stay alert, especially the women, older folks, and children, and don't go off anywhere by yourself. Because you got to head on a swivel, because we got to do it in our own community with the Pookie and Ray Rays, and then we got to look at the white supremacists. So we walk around and I head on a swivel all day long. So thank y'all for having me. Have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you, Jeremiah. I'm going to go ahead and touch up. Shout out to Brooke. I see you in Reps. I see you guys over there in YouTube land as well, too. I'm going to go ahead and touch up on this article real quick, and then I'm going to get to you, Sister Sean. This is about woke. Woke is a new N word. So let me touch up on that real quick, guys, and then we can go ahead and move the discussion along. Of course, you guys know you're welcome to go back to this, because the Montgomery Brawl is world news at this point in time. Professor DJ, can you guys hear me okay?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, up in the Jumbotron of both of the articles for the night. This is from the Pittsburgh Carrier, and it's also curator Newstoter.com platform. Be sure to visit Newstoter.com daily to stay up to date on breaking black news. Fred Logan was the author of this. He says, woke is the N-word loud and clear in MAGA USA. Now, the only thing I disagree is that it's not just MAGA USA, it's a USA period, but MAGA USA, Make America Great Again USA, is Trump's botched coup excuse me, against the U.S. federal government. It is the recent U.S. congressional hearings on flying saucers. It is without question Marjorie Taylor Greene and George Santos actually getting elected to the U.S. Congress. It is Donald Trump actually getting elected to the White House, and it is much more. But most of all, MAGA USA is the tens of millions of white folks in the United States of America who embrace and support all the national dangers and absolute stupidity just cited. These people are the end products of 400 years of white racism, institutionalized in religion, law, and habit. All this has been to justify the murder, robbery, and genocide of Native American peoples and African peoples. Today in MAGA USA, the word woke is a synonym for the N word. That's why it is so widely popular among the MAGA masses. That is why it is a major political asset for MAGA politicians. It is not a dog whistle to rally the racist dog. It is clear cut, absolutely precise, no confusion. Saying woke in MAGA talks is chanting the N word at a Klan rally. MAGA politicians are campaigning for office on the well established white racist Southern strategy, the Southern strategy that put Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, George Bush first, George Bush second, and Donald Trump in the White House. Way before then, it was the politics of Benjamin Tillman, South Carolina's governor, 1890 to 1894, and U.S. Senator, 1895 to 1918. Pitchfork Ben campaigned for office in support of lynching black people. He bragged on the floor of Congress that he had killed some African Americans himself. Look for the whole Look for the woke howling to intensify and escalate as MAGA politicians Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump are two examples competing to outwoke each other in the 2024 presidential campaign. Recently, DeSantis has been in the news bad mouthing U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and Florida U.S. Congressman Tim Scott. Kamala Harris in Florida, and it should say actually South Carolina U.S. Congressman Tim Scott. Harris is a Democrat. Scott is Republican. Both are black. Trump is in the news almost every day, bad mouthing DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is afraid to attack Donald Trump in the media, so he howls and chants woke, woke, woke. In effect, he attacks the black community. Trump is facing possible jail time. He is very worried, and he will move even further to the right to outdo a desperate uh, Donald Trump. DeSantis may have to campaign for White House in a Klan robe after he lost one of the early campaigns of civil rights era. Art segregationist George Wallace reportedly said he promised himself to never let another segregationist opponent outseg him for the white racist vote in the campaign. There's a clear political logic in the U.S. right-wing frontal attacks on black studies, the frontline battles in education, and the social sciences are fought over who does and who does not have power. The campus and community black students movement is at a time at the very forefront of cultural studies, which directly pose a challenge to the U.S. race, class, and gender status quo. That's why the U.S. right is banning black history books, storming school board meetings, threatening educators, salivating woke, woke, woke. Question: if MAGA USA has put African American studies on trial, then what does it imply for the status of Irish American studies, Italian American studies, Polish American studies, for European American ethnic studies? And the fray we ask in the allocation of power, wealth, status, and privilege, who will be the whitest in the politically polarized MAGA USA? German Americans, Polish Americans, Irish Americans, etc. It has only been 100 years since the U.S. immigration struggles of 1920s made many European ethnic groups officially U.S. white. The MAGA blatant open white racism will further intensify and consolidate African American opposition to the overall use of the right wing reaction. Here's one example of this. This year, the Black led Association for the Study of African American History and Life will hold its annual 108th conference in Jacksonville, Florida, Ron DeSantis' home state. The 2023 ASALH theme is Black Resistance. Alrighty. So let me go ahead, Sister Sean, go ahead and unmute your mic. You got it.
Okay, so just to speak to what you were talking about, that whole woke thing is just it's the issue. But it's funny that if you all remember, they are so behind the lines. I mean, because we were literally using that term like 10 years ago, 10 with 10, and they just culturally appropriated that and tried to flip it. And that's what they're doing. They're flipping it. So if woke is the new nigga, then all we need to do is just call them out on that shit and call out all the politicians on it. Don't make them feel comfortable. See, you let them and allow them to use certain phrases, and sometimes we're somewhat guilty because we allow it. So we just got to call them on it. What do you mean? What do you mean when you say woke? I mean, you don't even have to say the word nigga. Put their asses in a corner. What specifically do you mean? And by the time you finish, asking a few questions, you'll get them in a corner, and they will expose themselves without you even saying the word. But here's what I wanted to get on: Alabama. First of all, on a historical perspective, outside of we knowing that was a goddamn slave port, that's number one. And then they coming in, the riverboat was the riverboat named Harriet, after Harriet Tubman. And then they had to deal with the lobster people. The lobster people. And the lobster people, I don't know, maybe they wanted to resurrect a slave auction or something, but they effed around and found out. So that's my point on the historical piece of Alabama. And not only that, right? Selma is known for the Edmunds Pettus Bridge. That's the second historical point. So we got a slave port going on here. We got the riverboat named Harriet. We've got the city, the state of Montgomery, Alabama. That's where the bus boycott took place. And we got Selma in the Edmunds Pettus Bridge. So we got about 4 different layers of our history in Alabama. So Alabama stood up. Alabama has had a history of standing up, and I just give 2 10 salutes. And if I had a hat, I'd throw my shit up in the air too and be ready for Alabama. We've got a lot of rooted history there in that South. And what I saw was a demonstration why we do have to migrate back to the South. We got to hold that. See, that's an example of holding down the square. See, so we up here in these northern areas and outnumbered. So we see what happens when we get a majority, and we understand the difference of a majority and what it means. To the sister, she threw Becky overboard. Becky overboard. That's the one she threw over. Her name is Tammy Howard. Hit my picture, my avatar, and look at her post. Her Cash App is there because she was fired. She's gone. And I personally put my contribution to her today once I got the Cash App. So if you want to help her, her name is Tammy Howard. She's the one that threw Becky overboard, right? So she was holding down her square as a woman while our men was dealing with them lobster people, right? So the next thing I want to put into the conversation to think about what I looked at today, right, is that we got, and I posted one of the videos. One is from a Hispanic dude. Another one's I didn't even post the one from the Asian lady. She looked like a Vivek Ramaswamy. That's his new name. Ramaswamy, because he's from the swamps. He's from the filth of the Ganges River, y'all. Look it up. The filthiest river on earth is the Ganges. That's where this dude is from. With a hairline that go all the way back to India. And he coming up in here with these politics as a Republican and try to point fingers and put foot on our neck with all this anti-political blackness. So that's his new name, Mr. Swamp, Ramaswamy. So so his people, but it's probably, they got that serious caste system there. They tried to come out and say, oh, I'm all for the black. I didn't even post some shit. But I did post the Hispanic dude. And this dude, he's coming out talking about, oh, we're gonna call this Cinco de Agosto, Cinco de Adusco, kind of after Cinco de Mayo. That's what they celebrate, or the Day of the Chair, right? So yeah, cool, everything, black and brown, little bit of admonishment from the Mexicans. That I probably should go back and see what that. I'm gonna post that Asian woman. She's a Vivek woman. She's from that cast. But it's like, okay, yeah. Now you want to jump on the bandwagon, and it's all cool and it's all good. But we don't need no cultural appropriation, or we don't need it's Cinco de Agosto. What is it? Cinco de Agosto. But next thing you know, Day of the Chair. And next thing you know, you done culturally appropriate that to some shit, flip it, and somehow it's yours. Just like you trying to do hip hop. So those are the two things that were very, very interesting that I wanted to point out is how some of the immigrants are trying to come in on this and kind of pledge allegiance. But we just need to be kind of a little bit side-eye on that. And I'll land right there.
All right. Thank you, Sister Sean. I see Shepard then came up in the space early tonight, Shepard. So you didn't come the last 30 minutes or whatever. So I definitely look forward to hearing you speak tonight. Professor, I think DJ had to take a call, so he's not in the space right now as well, too. So we got a decent amount of folks up in here as well, guys. The N-word, I mean, the actual woke, I've always felt like that people just saying that's a nice way of saying the N-word. That's a politically correct way of saying the N-word, because when they talk about all these woke policies and woke agenda and this and that or whatever, they're basically speaking about black people. Same as Tommy Tuberville when he was talking about that the Democrats want to protect criminals and giving their money away when people talk about reparation and this and that. We know exactly who Tommy Tuberville was talking about. We know the criminals who he was talking about. We know when they started mentioning this woke agenda, exactly who everybody's talking about as well, too. They're not talking about Asians. They're not talking about white women, people that supposedly, quote unquote, classified as minorities in this country. They're not talking about Latinos. They talk about one group of people when they start mentioning woke and woke policies and everything that deals with woke. Everybody that they're speaking about is black people, and there's nobody else, there's no other group. So I agree with what Stephanie was saying. I believe it was Stephanie. When you start mentioning woke and this and that, people need to really start to question them and ask them exactly, well, what do you classify as woke? What's woke exactly? Give me an example of a woke person. How do they look? Where do they come from? How do they speak? Make them actually stand on this whole woke thing, because they'll sit up here and they'll talk about Democrats being woke because they feel like Democrats are defenders of black people or whatever. So they'll sit up here, oh, well, I'm talking about those Democratic policies and this and that. Be like, oh, who would embody wokeness? Because we always talk about woke. So who exactly embodies this wokeness or whatever? They'll try to tie it into the cancel culture and everything else and all this other stuff as well, too. But it doesn't take a genius to understand who the actual woke means. So yeah, the issue I would have about that that article, which I felt was a pretty decent article for the most part. But one issue I would have is I know he was putting everything with the woke and the MAGA, and true enough, the MAGA people, the biggest ones, talking about woke as well too. But if you piss a liberal off long enough, they'll even talk about, well, this is a little bit too woke for me and stuff like that. They'll actually start to let you know exactly how they feel about it as well too. Especially when you start talking about certain things that's gonna definitely benefit black people. They can't hide it either. They can hide it better than the actual Republicans, but they know exactly how they feel too. When you're speaking about woke, they know exactly who you're talking about too. They know you're talking about a bunch of black people as well too. So it's not solely so many times we hear Republicans or so many times we hear black people in some of these articles and stuff. They always constantly put the entire blame on the Republican Party and their actual their voting block, but they never put that same blame on the Democratic Party and their voting block as well too. Like, so it's always about, and both parties do it. They always blame the other when it comes to when you're talking about issues about black people and stuff like that. I know I believe it's Professor Black Truth. He was going in on that actual situation, I guess, when Ice Cube had the interview with Tucker Carlson, and a lot of Republicans will sit there like when he was talking with when Tucker Carlson was talking with Ice Cube, and he's talking about this and that or whatever. You can hear him, Tucker Carlson, like trying to, kind of shift the blame and stuff to the Democratic Party and stuff like that. Because we did a space on that a couple weeks ago. Or we did a space a week or so ago on it or whatever, a couple weeks ago. But we didn't hear the whole interview, and even it kind of surprised me a little bit that Cube was talking about race and this and that. That it's not so much about race anymore. And when I started hearing this stuff, people talk about it's not about race and it's about class. I'm kind of skeptical right there because it is about race. It's always been about race. Yeah, classism plays a big part in the structure of this country as well, too. Make no mistake about that. But sometimes we're starting to kind of get to a level as black people. And, I definitely gave Q the benefit of the doubt. I said, well, hey, if you want to go ahead and have an interview with Tucker Carlson, hey, I know you said you was taking your platform. You were going to go here, go there, go there. Feel free to go in and speak to whoever you want to speak to. Speak to the because he spoke to Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan and what's the British boy name that always take cheap shots, Piers Morgan. He spoke to all of these people or whatever, and I know he's going on some black platforms as well too. So no issue with that. Speak to who you want to. If you're saying you're gonna put the gatekeepers out there, okay, fine, all and well. But when we started talking about classism, and it's more about classism, and it's almost like I was kind of shocked to hear some of the stuff that was coming out of Cube mouth in terms of like, well, yeah, like they trying to pit people against each, like they've always pitted people against each other. I mean, I don't understand sometimes when we talk about it as a people, like at no time in the history of this country have we ever been united. I know people say, well, things have gotten worse and things are worse now. Things are always bad. There's never been a good time in terms of black-white relationships in this country. Yeah, if you want to talk about in terms of black people getting in the 70s and getting more opportunities in entertainment and stuff like that, and okay, fine, yeah, you started seeing more black people on shows and on albums and this and that and on TV or whatever. So if you want to say in terms of entertainment, it was great, yeah, that's fine. But in terms of employment, in terms of housing, education, in terms of all of the things that really, really matter, there has never been a good time for us. There have been times, of course, is it better now than it was in 1860? Yeah, hell yeah. Is it better than what it was in 1900? Yeah, of course it is. Because for one, you were living under Jim Crow, so it had no choice but to get better. But to sit up here and act like I was kind of taken off by that interview a little bit by Cube. And Cube, I said, I support Cube, but, when we started sitting up here and started talking about it, it's class and people putting money into this. Yeah, it's always been divisiveness in politics. It's always been divisiveness in the policy of how America governs. So, no, this is nothing new. And I just, it was kind of to the side like, hey, we got to also look at some of these people, even some of our favorites in entertainment. Are you doing this for the benefit and the betterment of all people? Are you trying to do, because we see so many times in Hollywood, they start sitting up here and they talk more about the racism and discrimination and the lack of chances that they get in Hollywood than they do about the actual United States. It's always about, well, Hollywood is so white. The Oscars are so white. We're not getting a chance to say, we're not getting a chance. Like, what about you? What do you think as a whole? You can't get most of these entertainers or actors or athletes to speak about the actual whole of black people. It's always about what's affecting them specifically in their career, their profession, about being able to give them a fair chance out there in Hollywood or in the NBA, or being able to, I'm sorry, and it would be nice to see this, to own a sports team. Let me tell you something. Owning a sports team is not like the top of our priorities. Yeah, it'd be great to see black people own sports teams and this and that or whatever. It'd be great to see black people in management and some of these leagues and stuff like that as well too. But that is not like that's not top priority for black people. That's your goal. That's your main thing. So, Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic. And guys, feel free, like I said, as always, to come on up here and drop something. This is the Newstoter space. We're on always Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys come on. Make sure you guys check out the website too. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. For those that can support us, you can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Once again, $Newstoter. For those that do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. Also, for those that want to become a subscriber to us on Twitter, you can go to the profile page and click and subscribe that way. Also, let's go ahead and find a link for the sister that was fired from her job and put that up in the Jumbotron as well, too. I know I retweeted out. So if you guys want to donate to her on Cash App, she lost her job, please go ahead and do that as well, too. But once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Black Business Month, so definitely support Black business for those that can and are able to. Go ahead, Professor. You got it.
Yes, thank you again, Toto. Family, I want you all to understand when we look at what happened in Montgomery, it's a reason why that had to go down. So you have to look at the symbolism of it all. That brawl was more than just a brawl where people were just fighting. It was showing something that Black Americans must do and we'll have to do going forward, and that is take a stand. And I'm not talking about standing up with signs and laying down like what we did back in the 60s and the 50s and all of this stuff. No. It means we got to move forward with actually putting up the hands and laying it down, fighting at all costs. I'm sitting here right now as we're going through this space, as we're talking in the space here right now, y'all, right there in the state of Florida. Now, I know Toto probably has heard this, but there's another top Black American sister that just been removed from a top position. See, this is why we have to keep fighting.
DeSantis, once again, doing work.
Yep. He removed a sister out of the state attorney's office for no reason. But he cited some made-up reasons, saying that she was neglecting her duties and she wasn't prosecuting certain crimes to the standard that it's supposed to be prosecuted. Monique Royale, very intelligent sister that he just removed from office, and he's going to replace her with somebody temporarily, and we all kind of got an idea who that might be. Or what?
I think he replaced him with a black dude, but it had to be one of his people though.
Oh, it's gonna be one of his people, no doubt. One of these coon sellout type blacks. Okay. So once again, with this right here, it's the same thing that's been going on in Alabama. Black women that have been in positions, they are removing them. I have been mentioning this in previous spaces, y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all to pay attention to this. And they did it in North Carolina. Here recently in North Carolina, where they removed that sister up there. She was a town clerk. They removed her because the police force decided that they didn't want to work under her, and they walked off their jobs. So the city council came back and removed the sister from the job after they gave it to her. I want y'all to understand what this Montgomery fight was all about, because it means that we got to make a stand against everything now. I've been telling you, sisters, y'all got a lot of education. Black women are some of the most educated people in this country, which is why they're going to keep trying to remove y'all from these positions. That's right. And if they could remove Ketanji Brown from up there at that Supreme Court right now, she'd be gone. I'm just telling you, that's what they're doing. Now, I'm saying this to you, sisters, because I mentioned it like I said, in previous spaces. They are attacking Black women like crazy right now in these positions. And I'm watching them, because like I said, it's been about 7 of them removed right here in Alabama that was in high positions. So this is why that Montgomery fight was so important, because this is why we got to keep getting out there fighting and continue to fight, because we got to fight against stuff like this right here. I'm a man right there.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Yeah, we got to keep the fight up. And like I say, I believe that dude, I believe he went ahead and filled a position because I was looking at TV and I glanced up and the news was on. So yeah, I still watch the news. I gotta watch y'all. Like I still gotta watch the major news just to see exactly the nonsense they be talking about or whatever. But this was the local news, and I saw it. And when he replaced the woman, it looked like he had a black dude up there as a replacement. So we pretty much already saw with William Allen and the rest of them the type of black people that they put on the boards and stuff here in Florida. I saw a post the other day, and people they had a picture of a black woman up there with DeSantis, and they were saying, and the guy was like, "Yeah, black people in Florida love DeSantis." I'm like, "Nah, you may have a few black people in Florida love DeSantis, but the vast majority of black people do not love no damn Ron DeSantis. That's not true at all. Straight up." I see my girl Rella is up in here as well too. So Rella, what's going on? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter, DJ, Professor, and shout out to the room, the space. I wanted to, hey, so Black August update, Montgomery Brawl, woke is the new, woke is the new N-word. N-word actually was the new N-word before woke was. Just the way we say N-word instead of saying nigger, N-word. Now people be like, oh, they said the N-word. The defined term, when you actually hear it, it's more, it hits harder when you say it because you know how derogatory it is and how degrading it is. The Montgomery Brawl, for them to only be charging a few people, and then I think they issued warrants, but they did not issue any warrants for the women that were involved. I have a huge problem with that. That entire family, or those people and the other people need to be, they need warrants to be issued. But again, we now see the power of the governor, the power of mayors, the power of local representation. And I think this has kind of always been our issue, our Achilles heel, when it has come to politics and symbolism and people using us as puppets on a puppet string, abusing our emotions, abusing us as citizens, and abusing us when it comes to benign neglect. It is very important, I think, that people understand Ron DeSantis was an attorney. And I have to see if he was a prosecuting attorney. I can't remember, but I will state that he was an attorney. So he does know the laws in Florida. And I want to make people aware that he removed Miss Worrell, and he stated that she was too lenient. But according to Article, I want to say, is this Article 6, Section 7 of the Florida Constitution, which is supposed to mirror the federal Constitution, the governor has the power to remove any officer, right? Any judicial officer or any officer that has, you got to remember, these people got bonds on them. They got bonds on them just like the police officers. That the governor has a right to remove them, but he has to prove that she committed a criminal act. And if you're telling me her being lenient on cases of violent crimes is a criminal act, and he never charged her, or she was never arrested or charged, or they never brought charges against her, and he just decided to remove her, then she, I hope, as an attorney, is going to fight this to prove that Ron DeSantis is trying to make Florida into a certified bona fide sundown state. If you look at what he's been doing, he's attacked the education of only Black Americans, descendants, American freedmen, descendants, Negroes. I don't care how you represent yourself at this moment in time. If you are in Florida, he's only attacked the curriculum for one group of people. And now he's attacked a prosecutor who just so happens to be Black American. And On top of that, he's accused her of being lenient, but she was never ever charged with committing any crimes while serving in her position. Based on the articles of the Constitution for Florida. So he's going to have to prove that, and he's not smart. And let me tell you something. The thing that I noticed about these things that we're starting to find out, just like down in New Bern and all across the country, is that we have not been standing up and representing ourselves in law. We have not been standing up and representing ourselves in a collective way, and we have not been representing ourselves in local and state politics. The primaries is, the national election is all well and good, but the local and state politics that is our nesting eggs. That is another reason why Black majority states is so important, because we're talking about the representation of controlling the arms and legs that make these states run. And those are the positions of authority. These white folks and other groups have mastered it. They know how to flood a city and a state. They are doing it down in Texas, and they're going to out-organize us because we have not been on the move. And we got to figure that out. Because we are in trouble. And if he's going to make Florida a sundown state, the people in Florida and us around the country need to sound the alarm, because that, to me, should be considered an act of treason against Americans. And we have to be willing to put that language together, have attorneys who actually fight and put that language together, and you go at these devils with their own weapons. That's how you do it. And I land.
All right, thank you, Rella. And he's one of the main ones. Every time you turn around, he's sitting up here talking about what's woke and woke and woke and woke, in wokeism and all this other kind of stuff that he started here in the state of Florida. The whole thing about firing that lady was nonsense, for the simple fact that Florida, in terms of crime, we're one of the nation's leaders in terms of crime. So, he should have fired a whole bunch of other people as well, too, because Florida is filled with crime from top to bottom. So all that was just a way of going and trying to get him another flunky underneath him to go ahead and do his bidding like he's always done. This is a guy that a lot of people talk about they want to vote for president as well too. So you can keep Ron DeSantis.
Like I said, bro, it's happening in your state, Alabama, Mississippi, over there in Texas. They were moving anybody that's black in certain positions, and at this point in time, it's been pretty much black women. Like I said, it's been pretty much black women that getting out of these positions. Alabama has removed 7 of them. I've been keeping count. It's been a few brothers removed here and there, but the majority of the people that they moving out of these positions have been black women. So I'm just telling y'all to keep an eye on it. It's a reason why that's being done. I don't know what the reason is, but there's a reason behind it.
Has anybody heard anything lately? Because we were talking about the sister that threw the white lady up in the water, but what's going on with the brother with the chair as well too? Like I want to know, did he ever turn himself in? Are they looking for him? Exactly what's going on with that brother? Because he may have to people may have to do a little funding for him as well too. Because I want to see exactly how they're gonna lay this thing out with him. Has anybody, Professor, have you heard anything new about him today? Anything like that in terms of turn himself in? Because I know they was looking for him. They wanted him to turn himself in. Has anybody heard anything else with this brother?
Talking about that guy with the chair?
Yeah.
They didn't issue a warrant for him. They just asked him to reach out to them, that they had some questions. At least that's what the chief of police said in the interview that he put out that has been circulating the internet.
Yeah, that's the only thing been said about that total. That I don't think a warrant's been issued for him. The only people that got the warrants is those 3 white men, which is very good as far as I'm concerned, because they didn't issue any warrants for the black Americans, which is good. They shouldn't issue any warrants for the black Americans. But my thing is, they should have gotten those Karens. Now they should have issued the the warrants for the 3 white men and for the Karens that were involved in the fights. I don't quite get that part why they didn't issue the warrants for the Karens, unless they believe that the Karens were maybe trying to pull their men away from the fights. I don't know.
They look like they were fighting as well too.
I'm saying, and thank God for when the sister throwing one of them in the water. I was happy about it. But anyway, but the Karens were involved in the fight, y'all. They was actually over there hitting on the black. They was hitting on black men. The women, the Karens were over there hitting on the black men, and that's how come the sisters came in and got involved, because they said, let's pull these Karens away so the brothers can handle the no good ass Kens. Take care of them. Okay, but the way it looks, Tata, it looks like it's just gonna be these white men that's gonna take the fall, which is fine with me.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that. No black Americans should be charged for none of this. No black Americans should be charged for any of this, and I'm happy with that.
All right. Stephanie, let me go ahead and get to original. We got a new speaker, and then I'm going to go ahead and get to you as well. And anybody else up in the space as well, too, guys, go ahead and come on up here and speak or whatever. I see we got so many of our people up in here. I see my girl Aunt Li's up in here as well, too. So what's up with you, Aunt Li? What's going on with a bunch of you guys up in here as well? I see my girl Rerod. She chilling not towards the bottom, but she just chilling. Ray, what's up? What's up, Ray? What's up? Trouble, I see you chilling as well, too. So a bunch of y'all chilling up in the space. Definitely y'all get a chance. Come on up here and speak. Before I kick it to original, I would have to say, though, that brother with the chair, like, he was zoned out. Like, he was like, it's like when you heard people, it's like, and Professor, you were in the military, but like when they say, I remember watching, what was it, was it Full Metal Jacket or one of the movies about like the Beyond the Stair, whatever, like the 1,000-yard stare? Like, my man was there, but he was like zoned out. Like, he was looking beyond what was there. He was just whacking away. It was like he was there physically, but spiritually, this dude was on a whole nother plane here. Like, he was just zoned out. And he had them dudes not showed up there, you thought he would have been tired swinging that chair like that, but he had caught like a 1,000-yard stare. Thank you, Nightfall. Thank you on YouTube. The 1,000-yard stare that brother had.
That brother, whoever that brother is, and I wish I could beat him. I would love to shake his hand because he had a lot of energy with that chair. And so shout out to the elders that got involved in this. Everybody did their job. Everybody stayed on code, and that's why I say, y'all, from this fight, we take the momentum and make it into what Willa was just talking about. We gotta keep going forward with political stuff. That we gotta make sure we stay on top of the political issues. We gotta stay involved in that fight. Now, getting out here knocking white people around, we know we can beat them. We know we can whoop the hell out of these people. We already know that. What we got to do is beat them in other ways, though, that can get us what we want. And that is, we're trying to gain political power, economic power. We're trying to gain certain other things in this country that we're supposed to have been had in this country. This is the type of momentum that we just need to take it and put it into every avenue that we're trying to do right now. And so that's why I say that this fight is symbolic of what we got to do moving forward. You can get out there and fight all day with these folks, like knocking them out, throwing them in the water, hitting them with chairs. You can do that all day. What was that saying that Ice Cube said in that movie, How I Learned It? What did we really win if you think about it? We didn't win shit. Yeah, we beat them up, but we didn't really win anything. You know what I'm saying? Think about the years of slavery, the years of the Jim Crow, the black codes, being shot in the back by the police, just the insurmountable of terrorism that has been thrown our way by these people for years and years. Ice Cube said it great in that movie, y'all. We got other stuff we got to fight for, man. You're not here just fighting these fools, knocking them around and hitting them with chairs. Hey, it looked good on the video, and it gave us some momentum. But now, man, we got to do some other things. Now, man, we got to stay into the fight. We're building up this black majority state. Shout out to black majority state down there. And so that's what we got to do now, family. I'm gonna land my plane right there.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Let me go ahead and kick it to original. And guys, like I say, we definitely need your support. So for those that can contribute at least $1 to the night's program, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. It don't have to be a lot. We understand we living in tight times, inflation, recession type economy. But for those that can, we definitely would appreciate it. $Newstoter, Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. It's more than just Twitter Spaces and simulcast on YouTube as well. It's an actual platform. Make sure you visit newstoter.com. Stay up to date on black news, curated black news from some of the top black-owned newspapers in all of America, black bloggers and everything else. So definitely go ahead and support us by definitely visiting newstoter.com daily. Everybody in the space, make sure you go ahead and just, if it's just for a minute, just go there and surf and leave and come back to Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. But we definitely need your support. We always talk about supporting black-owned businesses. Newstoter has over 20, 30, 40 black-owned sites with curate news from a bunch of them. So definitely, when you support us, you're supporting those black-owned businesses as well, too. And not only that, when you get there, click on read the article, click on it, and actually drive traffic into these black-owned websites as well, too. If you're on newstoter.com and you click to read more and it won't go, that means that you need to go ahead and disable your pop-up blocker. Most people don't have that issue, but some people do, depending on how your security features are structured. But if that's the place, if you go there and you click on it and it won't go through, that means you need to disable your pop-up blocker. But definitely we need your support. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Shout out to Dusty Pookie on YouTube for the chat as well too, for the super sticker. Thank you, Dusty. Let's go ahead and get to original. You got it. What's going on with you tonight?
Hey, peace, black power, really face reparation. I just want to say this. It was said earlier about about this being a hate crime. I believe it was a hate crime, and I believe those people was calling him the N-word and everything else. But every time something happened to us, from the DOJ to the local DA, they always try to maneuver around and avoid using the hate crime protections for us. Now, if you notice now, the black gay guy that was killed in New York, they're already saying it's a hate crime, this, that, and whatever, because the gay white community is going to use that for fundraising to get money for themselves. And so I just want everybody to understand that, we have to begin to support, especially support people that's running for a public office who are not going to come out in a measured way. They're going to come out and just tell the truth. And if they don't like it, too bad. But to continue down that road, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for us. But we also have to understand. See, I saw that mayor. He was on one of these morning shows, and he was asked about if this was a hate crime. Oh, he started, he started with the measured response, trying to take the hate crime away to do an injustice to the brother, because we have to understand a lot of, and like I mentioned the other night, that mayor was caught on tape saying that he didn't need the damn black vote. As long as he got the white vote, he would be okay. And that's how a lot of these people conduct themselves. They'll take our vote and not do a damn thing for us. They take our vote and use it to represent every demographic except for us. And that's going on, just like what's going on in New York. This boy in New York would not come out and defend, black Americans the way that he defended all these other people. It just wouldn't happen. And so that has to be pushed out there as well, because we're at the point then whereby, I'm not going to say it's sink or swim, but we're going to have to begin to do more. Because I was in a with someone and they accuse me of drinking the Kool-Aid. I see you damn right I drank the Kool-Aid and it woke me the hell up. And I see your inherent, and I see what I said. I see your inherent hate of black folks, and then they went away. So they don't want to see. They're upset because Doodle Santos down in Florida, he was like, yeah, white people are inherently evil, and there isn't any other way for me to look at it except for they are inherently evil, and they can't change that, you know. And when I look at, I found that. Do y'all remember that memo that came out back in 2015, where they showed in the memo, it showed their benign neglect strategy, how it was about Black Lives Matter and how don't discuss this and don't promise them anything, this, that, and whatever. And I had one person to ask me, so I think their username was Trump is worse. I said, well, for us, it can't get any worse. You know, if the Democrats are not going to do a damn thing for it, why would we vote for them? We're not voting for that. And whatever happens, happens. I said, there are other people there are more of the other people that would be harmed than us. So no, you're not getting my vote for that. But I think, oh yeah, and I forgot to say too, I was listening to the radio on the way home, my local radio station, and I heard the host say that Stephanie Miller had reached out and said that she would do a concert to try to raise money for our people over there. And if she does a concert, I would definitely try to make my way over there and support that. Because if we're not going to support one another, who will? So I give kudos to her for always speaking up. Because a lot of these other folks are fool. I think they said this old degenerate buffoon Marlon Wayans had made some kind of comment, or he misrepresented the video or something, and people started going at him. See, they think this is funny, but this is serious business. And I mean, granted, we know you're an entertainer, but at a time like this is not time to make jokes at all. You know, either you're gonna stand with us or get the hell out the way. And I prefer to get the hell out the way anyway, because you're not gonna do anything. You haven't done anything in all this time. And also, I don't know if you all heard this brother named Dwan B. He's like a comedian and something else. He said when he was reporting on what happened, Instagram shut his account down. He got something for 30. He can't do something for 30 days, and there's another. It was Instagram and some other account that shut him down. So because he was reporting on that, and we have to understand this too. The news media, they was working.
It was Facebook original.
On Facebook, okay, Facebook, okay. But he said they shut him down for 30 days, and we have to understand that this is our time. The universe has shifted in our favor, and we need to take full advantage of it. I don't care what anybody says. We're not going to sit up here and allow people to believe that they have the right, or they can, or just that will, they can attack us. They need to understand they're going to get those hands. And until we start doing that, I mean, I don't knock Dr. King for anything he did, because he did not have a blueprint. But at this point now, it has to be about us defending ourselves. And if you notice, because I gave maybe one night when DJ finished, I gave DJ a copy of Dr. King, one of the speeches he made before he was murdered, and it's called "What is Your New Year's Resolution?" And everybody that heard that speech, they said they had never heard Dr. King speak in that manner. See, I got that speech. It was someone played it on the radio station in LA years ago. So the brother had he had it on a cassette, and I bought it. I forget how much I paid for it, but then I had someone to convert it from the cassette tape to an MP3 file, and I've been sharing that with people. I've been sharing it with people ever since. And the people that was in that overnight room that night, everybody, I think it kind of gave them a little bit more energy. And I think maybe we need to play that so people can hear it and understand it's exactly what. Because Dr. King was saying there's nothing wrong with us. He said people talk about our skin, our hair. He said nothing wrong, man. I got good hair. I just put a little something on his yesterday. I got good hair. But what he also said, he said hair that is straight is like that of the monkey or the gorilla, and hair that is not straight is removed from that. So he was telling us that we are human. These people are animals, and they act. I mean, look at them; they conduct themselves like animals. And see, it's stuff like that get hidden. That get hidden from us, and like now it's like now the new, like I said, the news media, they can try to flip this in a way, but we just have to stand strong and make sure that we're not going to allow anyone to disrupt what we are doing now. And I hope that when Stephanie Mills, if she does the concert, I hope others will come out in support of that, because this is, I mean, we need to show people that look, we ain't taking nothing up anybody. We don't care who you are, And if we got to lay hands, we'll lay hands. But I would say for all of us, wherever we are, stay alert and keep your eyes open, because we're dealing with pure evil. As I tell people, there are no good white people in this universe. Wherever you find white folks in this universe, they are inherently evil. And I land with that.
All right, original. It's pretty pretty strong words to close out your to close it out right there. Let me go ahead and get to Stephanie. I see Shepard came back up in the space as well too, and that's the one thing we talk about. I know you were saying that Facebook will shut you down in a minute. I think I had just got off a suspension off of Facebook. They had me they had my account I couldn't do anything. So yeah, they'll shut you down in a second. So that's the one thing when we're on these white owned platforms, we have to obey. Up in the jumbotron, I did put the funded socially in there, guys. This is a black owned and I tweeted out, this is a black owned social media site that black state majority owns. So we always complain. That's one thing we do as black people. We complain that we have no place to go to, and when we do have a place to go to, we choose not to go there. Like, we choose not to support our people. But black state, DJ has a profile on there, Professor has a profile on there, I have a profile on there. So I mean, if we could build up funded socially, and nobody's saying that you have to give away, because look, nobody's telling you not to support or to keep going to Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. But my thing is, God, you can have 10 white-owned profiles or social media sites, but you can't have one from a black-owned and somebody black that's trying to go ahead and do things for black people as well too. So you can have Reddit, you can have Instagram, you can have Twitter, you can have Pinterest, you can have all of them, but you can't go ahead and just create one account over there, man. So we can't really complain when they go ahead and they suspend our accounts and they go ahead and silence us and do all kind of things so our content doesn't go viral, because, hey, let's be for real, they're doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, this is nothing new. They're supposed to do that. Sometimes black people get upset and talk about we're not being treated fairly. Well, actually, we're being treated just the way America was set up. We want more, but they're not doing anything that wasn't intended. So when you get a chance, guys, it's up in the jumbotron. I got my link. Go ahead and subscribe. If you don't get a chance while the space is going on, then go ahead and I retweeted it out as well too. So definitely check it out. It doesn't hurt to create a profile. It doesn't hurt to maybe hang out over there for a minute or two as well too. So that's what I say about Newstoter.com. It's its own curation platform. Black news, everything we cover: news, entertainment, lifestyle, culture, politics, education, health. So definitely support black-owned businesses. This is Black Business Month. August is Black Business Month. Think about supporting black-owned business. We support white-owned business 12 months a year, 365 days a year. Every second of the day, we supporting a white-owned business. So let's go ahead and share a little bit with black people as well, too, for those that can. Stephanie, go ahead and unmute your mic. You got it.
I just wanted to say, everybody was, absolutely on point. Code is definitely should be enforced when it comes to us. So that's why I didn't see any chairs being thrown. I didn't see anybody get hit with any chairs. It was just happens to be a victim of circumstances. So I'm just gonna land at that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You're right about that as well. I see my man Shepherd DJ. I know you came back up into space. What's
Hey,
up?
yeah, if you can hear me driving, bro, just the volume's like messed up a little bit.
Okay, I'll go ahead and drop you. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's up with these Twitter spaces lately. This is when Professor, you said this was shitter. You wasn't lying. It's like being on the shitter. It's just pure garbage, man. Elon, I thought he was gonna come in here with his big time money and go ahead, and all he's done has been just one catastrophe after another with this dude right here. Don't if you want to have a hobby, man, go pick up something else. Go worry about Tesla and your cars and keep constantly getting prepped up, pushed up by the government so they can fund you and make you into all this and that or whatever. Because let's be for real, without the U.S. money propping you up, none of this would be going down the way it is. So go find something else better to do with your time, man. It's obvious that your heart and your mind's not an actual a platform that you bought. So I don't even know what the point of buying it for, but nonetheless. Nonetheless, so he's like Trump 2.0, Nightfall. Yeah, he's kind of like Trump in a way. All right. Did the original you spoke, Stephanie, you spoke, Professor, you spoke. Anybody else wants to speak up in the space? I see Shepard came up in here. Shepard, you pretty quiet. You trying to wait and see what's going on because the titles itself pretty much says it all.
Yeah, I was actually.
I know you're pretty astute, so I know you can pick up things pretty quickly. But you know, I don't know if you were in here when I read a couple of the articles or not. But I mean, it ain't rocket science to kind of figure out where the topic tonight and where the temperature of the room is at. So I mean, if you want to go ahead and get it in, because I do actually, even though we have our disagreements, I kind of do look forward to hearing you actually speak as well to your opposite point of views, and sometimes we agree on a lot of stuff too, but we do have our differences as well too. But Shepard sound like you had a bar or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Give
well,
me a minute.
you probably under the influence, bro. So let me go ahead, Professor DJ. How's your audio now?
Yeah, everything good now. What's good, everybody?
Okay. You want to get something in while the space is still going? Because we ain't gonna keep it. I'm like this now. If a people ain't gonna come up and talk, I'm not gonna push to your issue, man. It's like, hey,
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
go ahead, Shepard.
What up? What up? What up?
What's up?
Yeah, I can't call it, man. Hey, Black August. That's the title. That's pretty significant. Because of what Black August is. I don't know if you covered that. That happened in Cali in prisons in the 70s, where they were just breaking down the Panthers and other groups that were resisting state repression, and they were throwing them in prison after having unfair trials without a jury of their peers and being denied the lawyers they wanted, and you couldn't get money to them. Like, they were shutting down the prisons and just treating them cruelly and inhumane. Cali got some of the worst prisons in the nation. Most of the most violent prison riots have happened in California. So it's just known as Black August. But it took a significance from the political prisoners that were being thrown in at the same time. So just like when the Bloods formed, the UBN Bloods formed in Rikers Island, they were under extreme pressure from, we used to call the Puerto Ricans the Germans. They was under extreme pressure from the Germans to unite, and that's what the political prisoners did. They had an army inside California prisons already, but they didn't have the charismatic leaders and the minds of the revolutionaries inside the prison. So a lot of the things that are in California prisons right now that people have, they were fought for and bled, and people died for the basic human rights. Because the state was killing people in prisons and out. It's no different from the police officer in the street, the CO in the prison system. It's exactly
the same counterpart. They just, work inside a different world. So Black August is a salute to the radicals, the radical existence of all revolutionaries, not just the Panthers. Like everyone at that time who created a revolutionary group that was anti-government and trying to get Black folks human rights. That's what Black August is significantly about. We've gotten away from actually talking about the actual history of Black August. Don't want it reduced to a fight at a pier. No matter how amazing that was, because Black August is way, way deeper than that. But it's dope that this did happen in August and that it was a symbol of resistance. So I definitely can see the parallel there. They got gang members on the streets right now today that have killed 20, 30 Black people who are poisoning our communities with fentanyl laced weed, fentanyl laced opioids, all type of shit. But they going after the revolutionaries who they still feel are dangerous. And I go back to something y'all have covered in this room before, was the Black Messiah. They never wanted the Black Messiah to rise. J. Edgar Hoover and CIA and the FBI was very afraid of the Black Messiah. And those revolutionary people that they threw in the prisons, they were everybody who could be considered a Black Messiah or a lieutenant of a Black Messiah or somebody. I mean, they were literally following them around the FBI every day, like just sitting on them, intimidating their wives, intimidating their family. Like when people say, well, what happened to the revolution and what happened to these old ass organizations? Well, they got a boot put on their neck and they got all of the soldiers thrown into jail or murdered, just like the Ferguson activists that was all killed. It just never really changed. So with that being said, that's the significance of Black August. If you didn't know, you could just look it up, and it's all about prison reform and human rights and revolutionary action. Other than that, we talked last time I was there. I talked about the Montgomery Brawl. I just hope it don't get stale and the memes don't get dry and we forget the unity part that everybody was so happy about. I hope something can come out of it more than a concert or more than something. But I'm losing hope of that because no Black millionaires or no Black billionaires have stepped up in Alabama and said, hey, I'm going to put some money towards keeping this momentum going. All revolution, all momentum needs money behind it immediately to keep it going. They need that riverboat captain and those people and everybody that was involved. They can form an organization right now. Somebody would step up and just put 100 or 200,000 into starting an organization. So that's why Black people who have money is so important in our community. You can't make something happen if everybody doesn't have the resources. So we talking about Alabama, we talking about momentum and Black August and resistance. That's how the Panthers, they were underfunded, so they had to start robbing banks and doing criminal stuff and robbing drug dealers. They have the money. So when you look at Black August for this event in Alabama, it's the same situation. If you want change in Alabama, somebody gonna have to put money behind that change. And I ain't seen the stars step up the way they stepped up for other things. So hopefully they will. Woke, we know it's nigga. I mean, no need to belay the point. That's an old point. We know it's a substitute for nigga. It is what it is. We know what to do when somebody calls us a nigga, right? I mean, enough said. I'll land with that. Peace.
All right. Thank you, Shepard. And I'm glad that you did bring up the Black August and everything that it meant as well, too. All of the revolutions that was going on in the prisons and everything as well, too. And it seemed to actually, even though it started, it seemed to seep out, in the Black community as well, too, just that revolutionary spirit as well. So definitely, Shepard, I'm glad you went ahead and touched up on that because we really did not speak about actual Black August up in the space. We talked, everybody was talking about the Montgomery Brawl and the woke is the N word. And so I'm glad that you did actually touch up on that topic as well, too. So thank you. And I'm glad you came up in the space early, too, because I know you be coming up in here late. You on the West Coast or whatever now. And, we start around here 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's why I always say Eastern Standard Time. So you're on the West Coast time. So things are a little bit different now. But I'm glad you did come up in here and you have to. We got ready to close it out. You was talking, you always no, brother. We be on here for 2 hours and stuff like that. I'm like this here. If you can't get your point across in a couple hours, and hey, you done missed the mark altogether. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to the brother that posted that video yesterday of the new flag for Black America. And Black America, I want y'all to do the same thing because I think I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. Put a flag outside of my house here, put it on a pole, and that's going to be a chair, a folding chair. The brother in that video, man, I'm telling you, I loved it. He stood at attention for the new flag for Black America, the chair. So I want y'all to all participate in that because I'm going to do it. I loved it.
And I want to add one thing to what Shepard said as well too. And shout out to my girl Rera. Rera, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. And it kind of took the words right out of my mouth. What Shepard is saying. Now you got Stephanie Mills. Stephanie Mills is willing to go ahead and put on a concert, to help the people out there who may need bond and stuff like that. So you do have some people stepping up, Shepard. But I agree with what you said in terms of doing something on a large scale. Our people still, we still seem to lag behind. And listen, I understand that in terms of finances, we're not the wealthiest people in the country, but we still have enough to go ahead and organize and do some things with it. And Shepard, here's the thing. I don't think you're going to be able to rely on the actual, like you said, the billionaires, millionaires. I don't think you're going to be able to rely on them. You're going to have to get the working class people. You have to get the working class and the poor even, and the middle class Black people to actually do something. You're not going to be able to go ahead and get these super rich Negroes to come in here and do something, especially something that they consider may hurt their brand. And a lot of Black people feel like, hey, especially even though a lot of them was secretly clapping, and you had a few on the internet, stumping up. You got to remember, Stephanie Mills is from a prior generation, so Stephanie Mills is not really dependent on a lot of the actual concert type revenue money and stuff like she was maybe 20, 30 years ago. So a lot of these people are not going to hurt themselves and hurt their brands and say something that they figure that, hey, mainstream America may give me a blowback. So I think to really do something, to get something moving, you're going to have to convince people and I know it's tough, you have to convince people that's making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 to really go ahead and, hey, maybe contribute $15 here, $20 there, something like that. Like you write $100,000, but if we had 10,000 people, I mean, you could easily do that. If you had 10,000 people, and that's what we saw about being on code, and you had 10,000 Black people, and they kicked in $10. I mean, bam, there you go. They go your organization right there. So I don't think you can really. These people that give them credit, some of them, they do have charities and nonprofits and stuff like that. Even though a lot of nonprofits are really a way of, kind of guarding their investments as well, too. But you're not going to get too many of these Black people in high places that's going to really just come out their pocket and put something in there that may be considered controversial, something that may be considered too Black, because you've already been shamed that, hey, you can't do stuff that's just too Black. You got to include everybody. So I don't know how that's going to fly, but like I said, I think if we're really serious, we got to really go ahead and stop worrying about the actual, like you said, the millionaires, billionaires. It'd be nice if we can get them to do that, but in a realistic world, we just gonna have to pull together what we got, man. Like the old times used to say, my mama used to say, you scuffing and scraping. You got to go ahead and just gather up what you can get and roll that way. And then here's the thing: our people also. If you see our people, we flock the crowds. We flock to people that have names and stuff like that. Go ahead and create an organization, have thousands of people in it, and you'll get other Black people to join, and you'll get other Black people to support. That's the only way you can do it. But you're not going to get many of these actual Black people and stuff like that to actually just come in here and say, okay, well, I'll do that. We got a bunch of millionaires in this country. And none of them are really worried about that. You don't hear you ain't heard one major Black star say anything about any reparations. You don't hear any of them talk about group economics. You don't hear any of them talking about that. Even if they don't say anything about reparations, you don't hear anything say, we can pull our resources together. We can do this. These Black people have enough money where they can get 10, 15 acres. They got they have the credit and stuff like that. that they don't even have to use their own funds and stuff like that, and they can start building townships right up in this country. They can start building black-owned business districts and residential zone, affordable residential zones, but they're not gonna do it because at the bottom line, it's bad to say they're thinking about their own bottom line, their own pocket, and if it doesn't make dollars and cents, and it doesn't make sense to them. So why risk it? I can go ahead. All I gotta do is put my money in the bank, live off the interest, or put in something safe or whatever, and that's that. I'm not worried about it. They don't have to get up in a 9 to 5. Their kids are taken care of. They got all kind of funds and everything set up, accounts set up for them and whatnot, investments. So hey, they got their loved ones taken care of. So if we really want to do something, we got to get out of that mindset. We can't worry about the big stars. We definitely don't worry about no billionaires, no black billionaires. They're not going to do anything. Like I said, they may create a nonprofit to go ahead and manage their stuff, but forget that. They're not going to do anything. The millionaires as well too. We got all kind of black men. We got NBA, we got NFL, we got some in the major league, we got actors and everything else, and it's just, hey, we got those in business that a lot of us don't even know. That's millionaires walking around right around here, and they're not trying to create any organizations, anything like that. Not in terms of something that's going to bring us together. We kind of missed the mark with the Million Man March. I wish that day Farrakhan had the Million Man March, that they would have had tables out there lined up where they could have went ahead and started just one business or something like that. Who knows? And that could have just drastically changed. It was a great accomplishment. It was a great accomplishment, but I wish like they would have added a financial aspect to that as well too. And you really, who knows how that would have shaped up things as well too in the black community. Hey, we could have started our own fast food franchise, a grocery store, or whatever, man, and something to rival even Nike or whatever. But it was a great thing, and like you say, when we have things like that, we fail to capitalize and build off of them as well too. So the Montgomery Brawl, that was awakening for black people, but hopefully it won't be one and done. They won't go, oh well, yeah, this happened, and okay, now life is back to regular around here. So, and like I said before, black people, check out black majority states. It's up in the jumbotron. Check out his social media site, guys. Check it out. What happened if 10,000 people? We got 10,000 black people to go on there and sign up, and just go there for a few minutes a day or whatever. That helps. Then you have your own platform. You don't have to worry about being suspended, and account and this ban and all this kind of stuff like that. You can say what you want to. Support, man. Support. My sister Rira, she always supports. And thank you for supporting on Cash App. And like I said to our people, I know we don't have it, but if you got $1 to contribute $1 if you can do it. If you don't, I understand. My friend just lost his mother. He called me today, and he lost his mother on Monday. And he called me today and let me know. So I had to send some money down to him, and shout out to him, his mom. I lost mine in December, so I know the feeling or whatever. We've been talking or whatever. So, hey man, like I told him before, just be there for your family. Do what you can. It's going to be hard, but you can get through it. And, it's not an easy thing, man, but that's life, unfortunately. We need to start setting up our own insurance companies and dental companies and stuff like that. I mean, it's time that we start looking beyond just what's already here, man. Stop going. We shop at what is it? What's one of the insurance, like Geico? We need our own Geicos, and we need our own Progressives, and we need our own dental insurance and stuff like that, man. We got to kind of get away from some of this stuff and create our own things, man. So yeah, I see Rella. I'm losing Rella. Let me see if I can get her back up here real quick, because she may be disconnecting. But Rella, if you come back up here, you got it. But yeah, but I'm with you, Shepard. We need that. Like, we got to capitalize on stuff.
So we did have our own insurance companies in Durham and Norfolk, all the major black cities, and they changed the laws to regulate them, and they regulated them out of fucking business, just like they do with the black banks. Like, as soon as we have our own, then once we're making money, we sell penny insurance and dollar insurance, door to door. Like, it became a multi-million-dollar business, and then white people sing it, and they took it, and that's the story.
Real talk. I'm just saying we got to find a new way to move around these white folks. When they make a step, when they push us back, we got to find a way too, man. Because, hey, you see how expensive this insurance is and everything else like that. We got to create our own networks around here, man. So we got to go ahead and start doing stuff for ourselves and whatnot. Go ahead, DJ. I know you had your hand up. Maybe Rella, she'll come back up here as well too.
Nah, everybody's saying the same thing. We agree to agree. You already know. Yeah, and I'm gonna have a space after your space, strictly talking about business, by the way. So you might want to come up on the pull up after that. But yeah. So back to us, which you were describing on social, right? So it's about close to 100 people in this chat right here, right now. And I know some of y'all are up on social, but for the most part, two people, including shout out to brother Robbie Blue. He signed up last night. You know, he did his thing in the liquor store last night. Shout out to Go. So at the end of the day, three people ain't gonna cut it, y'all. You feel what I'm saying? We need all our people to cut up in the jumbotron or get in this chat. You see all this information, the purple little bubble at the bottom right hand side. Sign up for social. We ain't trying to tell you to say disband your X account or your Racebook account or your ScrewTube account. We're gonna utilize those platforms to promote our platform. That's just really what it is. That's what they do. Facebook got an account over here on Twitter, and Twitter got an account on Facebook. So we do the same thing and just strictly post our content or stuff that we want to post in general. And you could go live on social. We ain't stopping nobody from doing their FaceTime, Instagrams, and all that other little stuff. You can upload music there. I got a bunch of music up there that's fresh made. You ain't never heard before. Go get your download on. It's free. You feel what I'm saying? And we need content creators and folks that do their thing on the side too as well. Hey, we got a platform for you, because when TikTok and the white folks see you do your new dance and bust your new rap and they steal it, where you gonna turn to? You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even be uploading anything to these WPR platforms other than to share your content from our Negro American, Black American, FBA American, ADOS American, you know what I'm saying? And whatever Native American, you know what I'm saying? Indigenous, Black, you know what I mean? Post your content on a Black platform. Ain't even got to be social. Go over the 6 zeros. Go to African Diaspora News Channel. Go to Black Junction, still popping. You know what I'm saying? There's other places out here we should be supporting. Stop throwing your money at the white ice all the time. You don't got to do that. That's off cold behavior moving forward. So, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't got to mess with us, go mess with another one. Keep it real, you know what I mean? I'm up there, Newstoter up there, Original up there, Fast up there, Black Delegation up there. There's a lot of folks up there, Black Majority obviously up there. So if we get everyone right here, right now in this room to go sign up for social, we can start generating our own algorithm. So I did some mathematics the other day. We looking for 40,000 people to come up there by this time next year. So that way we can start generating revenue, aka we must learn to fund it socially. Fund our own endeavors. That's the name of the game. So if we could get 40,000 people to the platform, while you paying $9.99 a month for Spotify or Netflix and all this other shit, knowing damn well it's so many content creators. Look at the SAG writer strike right now. Jokers is out of work. Billy Porter just said he had to sell his house because he out of work. You ain't out of work. You just don't know how to hustle. You already got the talent. You just don't know where to put it at. You feel what I'm saying? So we gonna make these jokers come over here, and white folks is included too, because we want that white capital money. You know what I'm saying? We capitalists at the end of the day. So y'all can come up there, just know that this shit is Negro owned, Negro centered, and ain't nothing else you can do about that. So if somebody call you a white honky on the platform, oh well. You know what I'm saying? At this point, keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Because look at all these other platforms. There's WPR. They allow them to call us nigga all day long. No repercussion. Ain't no repercussion. You know what I'm saying? And we know we ain't saying anything wrong when we say shit like that. It's because of the series of events that keep happening to it. You know what I'm saying?
You acting real woke right now. I'm just like,
yeah, I know. I know I am, right? You know what I'm saying? Call me a nigga. I don't care. I'm just get this right where I'm from, Brick City, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's it, Chevin. Give me a drink, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Word up. So that's all I'm saying to us. Hey, man, get up in the jumbotron, top left-hand side somewhere up there. Sign up. Come up there, look around. Worst case scenario, you delete your account. Keep it moving, man. But we building up Black over here. So when it comes to these businesses and y'all saying that we shouldn't support them, I'm taking it a step further. I'm going to these non-black American businesses and saying, hey, look, this is what we're doing over here on social. You could build your account, be codified with us, but if not, because you're in a black neighborhood and you're serving black people and you don't even got no black folks working behind the counter, even though you might be a non-black that own the shit, you're getting put on a list. NCB, non-codified business. You're getting put on a list. I'm putting you on blast on social, and I'm sharing it out from I'm putting all types of crazy titles in the header, and I'm sharing it out from there. So when people see this, like, damn, what the hell is this? That business look familiar. That look like it was by my block. You feel what I'm saying? Let me sign up for this site. Yeah, these you know, we call them tether rooms. Some of us are legal immigrants, whatever they are. You know what I'm saying? These other non-blacks, they don't want to support us, yo. They don't like us, yo. I don't think we really understand, fam. You know what I mean? And no more so than some of the Pan-Africans. You know what I'm saying? Don't run, Shepard. You know I was going to get to it. Don't run. You know what I'm saying? The Pan-Africans don't want to support. I go to the Jamaican restaurants, they give you the most pushback. You know what I'm saying? These other Africans, when you try to talk to them in the street, hey, yo, we doing reparations. Keep it clear with these people. You feel what I'm saying? White folks, too. I keep it straight with the Asians. Hey, this is a reparations newsletter right here. This is a black newsletter when I'm promoting the QR codes. They automatically ignore you. You know what I mean? They already ignoring you because you're black anyway, because they already know who you are. They just know, yo. You see, they've been delineating for a lot longer than we just getting on board with this shit. You know what I mean? We just getting to understand how much the hate really is towards us, and I just really don't think we understand that. So yeah, be woke, because that just means to look out for these other folks. You feel what I'm saying? Be aware of your surroundings when you outside. That's what your big mama and your pops told you. When y'all go to the store together, make sure y'all stay woke and keep your eye on your 12, 3, 6, and your 9, so that way nobody can mess with you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is the new N-word, Montgomery Brawl. You already know. Keep the energy going on that shit. But obviously, y'all better start getting prepared. Get your ass in shape. Take some boxing classes, ladies. Go get your 2A, 14A, all types licenses and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get all the weapon licenses you could get at this point, yo. Because we've been at war, we just been lax and lazy in that type sense. And Black August, and man, it's Black July, Black September coming up. Black October be here, you know what I mean? Black Friday will be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the black shit ever stop? Never, because we the ones that make this shit go around, fam. So imagine if we could make it go around on our own platform and not Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, and just to add to what you're saying, for anybody that gets a chance, just go to the Newstoter profile page and scroll down, because I know I've just got through retweeting a bunch of stuff from that DJ and them had posted and funded socially and stuff like that. But go to the Newstoter page. Today I have we've curated over 50 news articles right here on Twitter. There's a bunch of other articles that I can't, there's so many articles that I can't actually tweet them all on Twitter, because we talking about tweeting over 100 articles, really, to be honest. So that's why I tell everybody to go to Newstoter. Go ahead and just go ahead and just surf the site and then come back to Twitter or whatever. Even stuff like that helps as well too. Even if you're not going to contribute, if you're not going to make a donation, if you're not going to tweet out any information or like it or whatever, or comment, just go to the actual website as well too. Since 7 o'clock this morning to now, I've been tweeting out content, and I'm trying to give a diverse, have some diversity, because people don't want to. People say, well, why don't you just do news? Well, when I do news, a lot of y'all don't respond to the actual news that's coming out, because a lot of times I get tagged in posts that I've already tweeted out. So, just respectfully, I'll give it a like or whatever, or something like that. But that's how a lot of people are not actually checking out what content I'm putting out there. So, we always talk about having our own this and our own that, and when we have it, we don't take advantage of it. So I'm putting the content out there daily, 40 to 50 tweets a day, trying to diversify between news, politics, lifestyle, culture, celebrity news, entertainment, sports, the whole nine, health as well too, parenting. So, it's a bunch of different things that we're trying to go ahead and put out there as well too. So we need you, the people, to support us, by going to the site. We need you to visit the site, go to the site daily, let people know, word of mouth. Hey, there's a site out there called newstoter.com. Check it out. We need you guys to visit it. Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff. It's kind of like an encyclopedia. It's a curation platform. It'll lead you to other Black-owned sites. Check it out or whatever. Definitely go ahead and let your people know. We need our people on here to go ahead and follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all of those. We need you guys to retweet stuff out. We need you guys to like stuff, to comment. And lastly, for those that can't afford it, that's why I keep saying $Newstoter, $Newstoter. We need those that can. And like I said tonight, I made a point to say if you got $1, I was able to get and Re-Rock. I don't even consider Re-Rock because Re-Rock contributes all the time. So those that come into spaces all the time, Original, Professor, Re-Rock. It's a bunch of you guys that contribute all the time. So I'm not talking about you guys who contribute. A black majority of states contribute a bunch. For those that have not, if you enjoy the space, if you enjoy the content, guys, $1 or $2, if it's not going to break you or hurt you or whatever. I know it's early in the month. I know people got bills and stuff like that. If you don't have the Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron as well too. But like I say, this is supposed to be Black Business Month. We got to go ahead and get people to go ahead and sign up to that Funded Socially. That's free to go ahead and sign up to Funded Socially. It's free to do a retweet. It's free to do a like. It's free to visit the site. So we got to start getting some support. And I'm gonna keep saying it because hey, web hosting ain't cheap. Email hosting ain't cheap. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. And I keep saying the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. We need your support. We in Black August. We in Black Business Month. So we definitely need our people, for those that can support us, to help us as much as possible so we can continue to curate the news and we can continue to pour it out to the actual platforms where a lot of our people at. And a lot of our people, let's be honest, are on these white-owned platforms. Just to be real about it. Aunt Lai, I see you up in the space. We're not going to keep the space going too much longer, but what's up, Aunt Lai?
Peace, Black Power, and reparations. Really quick, I just want to say I do want to give a shout out to you and DJ, because seriously, we're dealing with my case. Everybody I talked to about it and supporting the help, you put the news article on your page, you pinned it on your page, you purchased my book, you supported me since day one. DJ out in the street, I'm like, oh God, I gotta pray for him because he don't care about the police saying that to him.
I actually bought your book twice, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but when it comes to support, I just want to thank y'all.
Oh no, sister. We always, that's what we here for. Like I said, we gonna put it out there as much as possible, and you always been a supporter as well too. So, like I said, we're definitely gonna, and we need to go ahead and start retweeting the book back out there as much as well too. If you guys have not bought an online book, go ahead and support this sister as well too, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're trying to use the platform for. Whether we had the farmers from Colorado on here. We had the story with Chaz Bunch. We had sister Henrietta Snack's sister on here talking about the situation. She was getting the raw deal in the medical school, being discriminated against. We've had a bunch of different people on here. So we try to occasionally, I'm not a big interviewer and stuff like that. When Marcel first started running, Marcel will tell you that the first media outlet to endorse him was Newstoter. So we try to do what we can as well too. But you're right, Aunt Lai. Like I bought the book twice too, just because I know I had given one away, but I bought another book from you as well. But yeah, but go ahead, sister. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I just want to say it's very, very important, and I really do want to thank y'all because a lot of people that I went to ignored me. Like when it comes to, and I'm talking about the ones that's out there now saying we got attorneys. I'm talking about the ones that be out, even including Al Sharpton, everybody that's so-called quote unquote in the movement. When a person who needed help came to them, they were ignored because they didn't make the brawl. Like it wasn't in the media, it wasn't blasted out for the masses, so they didn't care about it. So when push come to shove, I'll never forget about the people like who put me in the situation, but who also helped me when I was in that situation. So I do want to give y'all a shout out and let y'all know I do appreciate that. And it's very, very, very important because when getting our stories out, only we care about them. And thank you so much because it shows that you not only talk about it, but you be about it. You are a man of your word. So I do appreciate that. I appreciate you and DJ because I'm seeing all the people that I went to for help that I personally gave a book to and was ignored. So it's very, very important that you do have a Black
media a place where you can go to talk about what's happening to you in the, real life people, not just people who, unfortunately, if it makes the media on a certain platform. And I really do appreciate it. And I'll let my plane.
Thank you, Aunt Lai. Appreciate that. That's my man Ray down there too. So Ray, what's up? Ray, I'm gonna need you to holler because we need to get Judge Joe Brown back on here. I want to holler at Judge Joe Brown. I had hit him up, but I know his schedule's so busy. So I may holler at Dana and see if we can try to get Judge Joe Brown because it's been a little minute since he was on here. So we need the judge to come back up as well too, man. So Leon, what's up? On that note, guys, we ain't finna hold it up. We're gonna go ahead and end the space. I'm sorry, DJ said he has a space coming up as well too. So definitely go ahead and check his space out, guys. I gotta run because I got something to do. So we will holler at you guys tomorrow night. Everybody be good, be safe. Thank you for coming out to the Newstoter space. Peace to the co-hosts, the speakers, the listeners. Thank you guys on YouTube as well. If you're on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment, and we will see you guys tomorrow night. Peace, everybody.
Well, just live, peace.
Peace.
Peace.